Hello everybody and welcome to another launch in 2024 for the Formula One World Championship. Today we are witnessing the BWT Alpine F1 team's launch, the A524. Sounds like a road in the UK personally, but that's what they've called it as well, and this is last year's model. We're expecting the livery to pop just a little bit more, so we're expecting some good things. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from and what you're thinking it's going to be. We've got the stream ready up to go. We're just waiting for Sky to launch it up, so this is just a holder image temporarily. We'll put the correct one on in just a second, but let us know where you're watching from, what you think of the car when it loads up and everything, and we'll watch along together and see what it's like. Hello Benjamin, watching from school in St. Louis as well. Love St. Louis as well, fantastic place. In fact, I know someone over there as well, she's a TikToker who's over there as well. Don't know if you know that same person, but hey ho. Anyway, time to find out what Alpine have to launch. Here it is. So Alpine are launching their Formula One car and their hypercar in World Endurance Championship. So it's the best of both worlds that we are getting out here today, which kind of makes sense. I'm hoping and expecting a very, very different livery. Now, before, BWT Alpine have started the first few races in pink, then gone over to their permanent livery. So maybe they're going to be pink for the first 2-3 races, and then maybe go back to a normal livery. So don't be too worried to see if there'll be two different images. Here we go.
Hello. I think
Rachel
that deserves
Brooks.
a round of applause. Hello and welcome to the 2024 Alpine Motorsports launch. I'm Rachel Brooks and I work for Sky Sports F1, and it is an absolute privilege to be here today on this very, very special day.
Sky also
Alpine
hosting, of course.
has an illustrious history. Its DNA is embedded in motorsports. The brand was founded in 1955. It shone through the 70s with World Rally and World Endurance. And in more recent years, Alpine entered into the pinnacle of motorsports with Formula One. Now, over the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to go behind the scenes together, first in endurance and then in Formula One.
All right,
and this afternoon, you will discover much more than the liveries. In this dual Formula One and World Endurance presentation, you will get a sneak peek at the actual cars today. These are not last year's cars with this year's liveries. They're the real thing, so make the most of it this afternoon. Now,
Alpine have won already!
Of the
Alpine have won!
Project. The team's been working really hard to make the final adjustments. And this A524 that you'll see in a few moments was on track in Barcelona just a few days ago. After this, it's going straight off to Qatar for the first race of the season. It's also going to be an exciting year for the BWT Alpine F1 team and its new investors, Ocho Capital, Redbird Capital Partners and Maximum Effort Investments, headlined, of course, by some familiar names and faces, as I'm sure you already know. So where better to start this presentation and to present this A524 Formula One car for you than here, the very place where it's been designed and developed. I know you're eager to see both cars and, of course, meet the drivers. So let's crack on. Alpine is one of the brands that's most engaged across all the FIA motorsport disciplines, from F1 to endurance, from single-seaters to rally and Pikes Peak, and into the virtual world, of course, of esports. Alpine is truly passionate about developing motorsports excellence. So let's have a look now at the exciting world of Alpine Motorsports.
I'm just having a quick look at the entry list. Thought they were revealing the car for a second. Because Is it still BWT or have they changed it? Like, have I missed something massive and just like gone? Nope. I'm having a look. Entries. Nope, still BWT Alpine. Whew. I was like, have I missed like a major announcement that they're no longer in Formula One or something or other? Have I had brain fade over the past 8 days? What a 12 days it's been, by the way, for Formula One. Everything's going absolutely crazy. If you want to watch it, the Grid Network, Grid Tonight show this evening, that's the place to be as we'll catch up on all the news. Oh, Sophia Flörsch was just on the screen there as well. Their development driver. Alpine, of course, now owned by celebrity investors in Formula One. Ryan Reynolds, Travis Kelce, who's, of course, in the Kansas City Chiefs, partner to Taylor Swift. I wonder how that's going to go. Back to Rachel.
I think, yeah, definitely deserves a round of applause.
Again?
Racing. It's my pleasure now to introduce to you Alpine's VP of Motorsports. Please join me in welcoming Bruno Fama.
I've got a heater next to my boots in the box and
Bruno,
leather is heating up my legs.
For joining us, ça va?
Ça va, Rachel, ça va. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming here today. Thank you for everyone watching live.
That's us.
Really excited and happy to be here today. It's a very special moment. As you said, we are going to unveil those cars.
Hypercar first. They're saving the Formula One, aren't they? Because they know it's going to be different.
Happy birthday, Pierre.
It's Pierre Gasly's birthday as well, by the way. So happy birthday, Pierre Gasly. The most important
Bruno,
birthday.
You've got a fantastic history in motorsports. I'm curious to know, though, where your love for it all began.
It started when I was a kid, really, the passion for motorsport. I had the opportunity to go to the 24 Hours of Le Mans when I was 10 years old. And then I tried to really work hard and to study engineering to go into motorsport.
Succeeded.
And the dream came true. And I won Le Mans, I won Dakar, I won Pikes Peak. And more than that, looking at the future, I'm super excited to now lead this amazing Alpine.
Right man at the helm as well for Alpine. Such a great history.
Alpine is Renault Group's cutting-edge motorsports brand, and it's pronounced a new product lineup by 2030. Can you tell me how motorsports is influencing the next generation of road cars?
We are really proud to be transferring technology from the track to the road. And for that, really, for having that opportunity, I would like to thank Renault Group CEO Luca De Meo, who is here with us today.
Look, all the Alpine drivers Alpine in CEO, WEC, Mick Schumacher as one of them.
I'm really excited.
More exciting news. First electric car from Alpine too.
Yeah, the A290 will be the first Alpine
you all sound like
electric
heroes
car,
in Britain.
a key milestone in the Revolution plan and in the Alpine project.
I swear, is the A524 an A road?
Loads of great things ahead then. Tell us more about why Alpine is so heavily involved in motorsports in particular, though.
Alpine was born from racing. Motorsport are the perfect match for us. We are really excited to bring emotion, transfer technology, and make the brand shine. Today, we will discover the hypercar
There's an A524 in Germany.
The new Formula One A524. And Alpine is one of the 2 manufacturers in the world that can do this. Formula One and WEC are really complementary to develop Alpine brand awareness everywhere in the world. It's a real challenge to be at this level of competition in the 2 biggest FIA
I'll try not to shout then to simulate if you've got a headache.
It's a big ask. It's been an exciting road for Alpine's World Endurance Programme since the A424 show car that was revealed last June. So, let's check out some of the highlights
Alpine with no
look
rear
closely
wing.
Because it'll be your first glimpse of the A424.
Now, this is the WEC car, so I suppose we should be taking it nice because we're covering the World Endurance Championship at Le Mans this year. Does look good, doesn't it? Oh, there's the livery. Light blue. So this is the World Endurance car. The hypercar. Hydrogen power. It does look good, I must admit. I think the new generation of hypercars do look fantastic, and they sound fantastic as well. For endurance racing, they really are, I think, the best they've ever been since the GT days, and we started bringing the prototypes in the late 80s, early 90s. Now I think we've really got up there. It's like, this is what the hypercar class can be. So they're going to reveal the hypercar now then. They've lit up the lights. Formula One though, considering now they've only got one car there, I think they're going to have one livery. They're not going to do like they did with the purple. Oh right, here's the hypercar. It's blue. What a surprise. Oh, silver. Blue and silver, because they haven't got the BWT, have they, in their normal hypercar class. Silver? Yeah, that looks good, actually. Quite like that. Wish they had that back in Formula One a bit more. The multicoloured French tricolour.
I mean, it's a beauty, right?
Rach? The brake lights being the A for Alpine is quite cool. I quite like that.
And fantastic to get a close-up look at this stunning piece of engineering. So I think it must be the perfect time then to introduce to you Alpine's endurance team manager, Philippe Sinot.
That hypercar is going to be fast. So many joining in this year.
Thank you very much for joining us here today.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, look at that.
Alpine's entering a really competitive hypercar category at the moment. It's a car that's been developed in-house, but it's a milestone in Alpine's motorsport history. We know the competition is going to be fierce, but it's a massive moment for the team, isn't it? And for you yourself, I imagine. Tell me how it feels.
As you can imagine, we are really proud, so proud
Last
to
year
be
wasn't
there
Alpine not the longest and most boring. This year they've learned a little bit, haven't they?
First of all, I would like to thank Luca Di Meo, Philippe Krief and Bruno as well. Together, we're making this project a reality. So it's a great moment for us.
And long-standing partners back with you, Elf again as well.
Yes, one of the most faithful partners of the endurance program.
They are. Elf have been there for
the culmination
decades.
of many years hard work, isn't it, this project?
As you know, Alpine has a long story with Le Mans. We had some success.
Alonso was supposed to be in the seat, remember? But he turned it down and went to Aston Martin.
Titles. I think we are ready now to step up for the WEC challenge into hypercar category.
And Bruno, if I can ask you, talking of the hypercar project, how did it all get started here?
Alpine started the hypercar project about 18 months ago. In June 2023, we presented the show car in Le Mans during the Le Mans week.
Remember that.
And since we are running, testing, testing quite a lot because we have not much time and working hard. And
prologue soon.
But it's working well, and I'm very happy and proud to have Philippe on board as the team principal of the Alpine Endurance team.
I can only imagine, Philippe, how intense your testing program has been. To go from zero to be ready for Qatar in a few weeks' time, how tough has it been?
Was really intense. With 14,000 kilometers made on the track, so many tests, night and day, wet track, dry track, long run, short runs, long runs even up to 30 hours of endurance test. We're learning each lap. Was an amazing job done by the team.
Bruno, I imagine starting from zero, you're on a massive learning curve right now. It's a really steep learning curve for the team.
Yeah, that's right. 2024 will be really a learning season. We need to make sure the car is reliable first, and then to develop its performance within the frame of
right. They're going to retire Le Mans then, aren't they? If they're not even confident going into it. Fed up with them saying, "Oh, it's a learning year." If you're not ready to compete, don't go into the sport.
The bar's pretty high, though, isn't it, in this sport?
It is. The car is new. The driver
you hear that? That's Mick Schumacher throwing a chair.
Is new. There's a lot to do. We will remain very humble. What does not mean that we are not ambitious. We are really. We have all a racing spirit. We will push hard, and we will do our best.
This is Renault behind Alpine,
from the very first race in Qatar.
Well, speaking of drivers, you've got an impressive endurance lineup. I know everyone is eager to find out who will be in which car. So, Philippe, I believe you have some news for us.
Yes, absolutely. I am so proud to introduce you racing on the car 36 Nicolas Lapierre, Mick Schumacher, Mathieu Vaxivière, and on the car 35, Paul Duchatin, Charles Milesi, Ferdinand Asbourg, and we have a reserve driver, a newcomer, Jules Gounon. Everybody knows Jules as a fantastic GT driver. Welcome, Jules, on board.
Well, I tell you what, let's hear from them, shall we? Please give a huge warm welcome to Mick Schumacher, Nicolas Lapierre, Mathieu Vaxivière, Paul Duchatin, Ferdinand Habsburg, Charles Milesi, and Jules Gounon.
Yeah, maybe they should have got the traditional speaking Frenchman to do the English pronunciations of the names, because I struggled there a lot and I cover these drivers.
It's wonderful to have you all here today alongside your car for the season ahead. Let's go a little bit deeper into it, because Nicolas, you and Philippe, you've got a long history together, 3 wins at Le Mans, many seasons together. You've developed this hypercar program together and you were the prototype test driver for it. How's it been? What does it feel like to be here now
drivers,
today?
Which is interesting.
Yeah, it was a great honor and a pleasure to
all
to
French
drive and
drivers bar
develop
Mick Schumacher.
A424. This development phase is now over, but
and an
that
all
was
French
just
lineup in
the beginning
Alpine
of our journey, and now we are going to race with it.
Schumacher's the only German,
obviously, as Bruno
the
says,
only
it's gonna
other
be a
non-Frenchman.
learning season, but we are really looking forward to race this car in Qatar. I can tell you this car is great
strangely
to drive,
patriotic.
and I cannot wait to race in a few weeks.
Thank you, Nicolas. Now, Mick, we've followed your career from F4 through to F1. Tell us how you decided to make the move to Alpine.
Yeah, I mean, I think the move was quite clear. Obviously, the closeness to Formula 1, but also just a whole new project, and everybody very ambitious to get going. And it just really sparked that kind of flame in me to want to go and race here. So happy to be here, and I guess the feeling is kind of mutual.
And how have you found it so far? What are the biggest differences between this and the F1
Can't see his behind Rach.
I mean, the differences are big. I mean, we're trying to essentially bring it over the line 24 hours later, so it's good, and be sharing the car with 2 very experienced drivers.
For a single year before I get the Mercedes seat.
Yes, more teammates for you this time than you're used to.
Yeah, a few more.
And Paulo, if I can come to you. Last year you were in pole position at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. You were victorious in IMSA as well. You're joining Alpine and Philippe, who you know very well, I know. So how are you feeling right now?
Yes, thank you very much. It's an honor for me to race with Alpine on to all this French flag, bleu, blanc, rouge, as light as possible in endurance racing.
As well. Fantastic
many
driver.
years ago, Philippe and I promised together to try to race again together in the future, and today it's finally happened, so I'm really happy and proud about it.
Hasper, yeah, Austrian. Okay, so we've got
in endurance racing, so I will try to bring some of it to the team.
7
and vice versa,
drivers,
but you know it is a big challenge
5 are
for
French,
us, so we definitely
German,
have to be humble.
Austrian.
But I'm quite confident that with mutual trust and hard work, we'll be able to face it together as a team.
Thank
That's
you very
a very
much. Thank you very much.
patriotic
Sounds
lineup,
like
isn't it?
they are all ready for the challenge. Philippe, perhaps you could tell us a bit more about how you decided to divide up the cars.
Simple,
we made no
2
compromise
French,
regarding
1
the driver.
non-French.
We are already on the same line with Bruno about this. We choose the driver for sure regarding the level of performance, and they are all fast. It's sure, but we decide also to regarding the spirit, the mind.
Gasly and Ocon are nodding off at this
I can
point.
say today they are fast driver, but
I'm
also
with them.
clever driver.
It's an F1 launch.
And some natural affinities as well within those teams.
Yes,
Weird.
and at the end was not difficult, was an evidence for us, and I have to say
It is
that
weird they
big thank you
continually
to
tag
Bruno
on
for
the hypercar launch when
Well, I
it's...
think it's going to be an exhilarating
No one else does
season.
it. Oh, Red Bull last
one
year.
We're wishing the whole team the very best.
Red Bull last year went on
of course.
and
Please,
on
can you give a big round of applause
and
and a
on
big thank you to our drivers and to Philippe. Thank you very much.
Red
Thank
Bull
you.
last year was an hour and 45 minutes of absolutely nothing until Ford was announced, and everyone went, well, that's just a badge. It's nothing to do with it.
And now it is time to talk Formula One.
Thank God for that. Right, here we go.
It promises to be a busy and intense campaign. I think we all know there are 24 races in this record-breaking season to come from March through to December. So, Bruno, I want to ask you first of all, as team principal, what did you learn from the 2023 season?
First, we really look inwards on self-criticize ourselves, and then we identify challenges and we focus.
Don't put 2 drivers who hate each other in the same team.
Full of energy. By the end of 2023, we identified and we showed some quite improvement, and now the challenge is to generalize that across all the team.
And what changes have you implemented then for 2024?
There's now guns in the cars so they can shoot each other.
When I became team principal in mid-2023, we really focused on the track team to take it
was
to
mid-weekend.
another step. We saw that we
Omar
were already
Safnar
making
was out
some
of the Spa paddock
interesting
quicker than
progress.
anybody else.
But there is still a lot of room for improvement across the
Came out of
whole
nowhere as
team.
well.
And that will be my number one priority as a team
I miss
principal,
Omar Safnar.
in addition to my role of
I wonder if he'll take over at Red Bull.
And you're keeping on Julian Rouse as sporting director.
Not a bad choice
Stays
if
on.
Red Bull go do that.
Julian did
Although it'd be
really
Jonathan
a good
Wheatley,
job,
we all know. If Christian
in
Horner gets the
2023.
elbow.
He's a real asset, Julian. A real asset for the trackside team and for managing the Alpine Academy as well.
And some breaking news for you all. I understand there are 2 new roles as well at Enstone and Viry. What can you tell us?
What?
Yeah, we decided to create 2 new roles, the same in Viry and in Enstone, of Chief Operating Officer, in order to manage really the day-to-day business and operations of both sides, both companies, 2 different companies. And like that, I will have more time to dedicate to my role of team principal and VP Motorsport.
Well, I wouldn't be a journalist if I didn't ask you who's got the jobs. Who are taking on those CRO roles?
Then we will have John Woods in Enstone, who will join in 1 month's time. And in Viry, we are going to have Audrey Vastrou. She's already the operation director of Viry Châtillon factory. And both of them, I'm sure, will bring a wealth of experience to the whole team Alpine Racing.
Great. Big news for the team. Now, just before we see the
Good
car, I've got one
news.
last question for you. What can you tell me about the approach that you've taken to this A524 this year?
It's pink.
It's bold. I'm very excited now to test because I think not many people have seen the car yet. And we push really hard.
It's a launch.
And thank you
Nobody's
to
seen
Matt
the
and
car
all
yet.
the team and everybody in Enstone and Viry for doing that.
Come on, what's it look like? Come on.
It's first, you said it, but I want to say it again, it's very important, it's the real car. It's the real 2024 car, the A524.
Is it me or does the nose look a bit
everything is
triangular, like a knife?
It's very important. 2024
the nose
really
bit
a
itself.
bold approach. It's a completely new car.
Yeah, I can
front
tell.
To back.
I can tell.
Will explain
It
us
looks
a bit
different
later,
under the covers.
More in detail.
All right, brilliant. Well, I know that's what you've come for. You want to see these cars unveiled. As Bruno said, it is the real car. The team have been working incredibly hard to get it ready for you to see the real thing today and not just delivery. So
good. Well
shall we
done,
have a look at
Alpine,
it?
on that.
Ladies
It's
and
an
gentlemen,
actual
I
car.
pronounce the A524.
They've got cones out. Right, here we go. This is last year's car. I really want to see, is it... So this is this year's car. I think this is the first Haas launched a mock-up. I think this is the first car we're actually going to see of 2024. We've seen little bits and bobs on the stake... Oh, hang on a minute. The Sauber, because you can't call them stake anymore. I sneezed up this morning. The Sauber was the show car with a few 2024 bits on it. So you couldn't tell that much. This is the actual car. This is big. What does it look like? Is it pink? Is it more pink than blue? Is it sort of pink at the front that morphs into blue at the back? Is it a more colourful hybrid? Let's see. Third, of course, for Ocon at the Grand Prix in Monaco. Right, come on. Here it is. The Alpine A524, the actual 2024 car. Pull the cover back. Let's see what it looks like. Lights out. Oh. Oh, no. No, no, no. It's carbon. No. Oh, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. This has gone on too much. It's a carbon livery. Again, no, this is ridiculous. The fronts of every single car look...
I saw you all getting your phones out. Even Pierre was getting his phone out in the front row there to take a picture of his new car for this season. It looks fantastic. You've got a striking delivery by Felipe Pantani this year.
Yeah, that's right. This livery is unique and really impressive, thanks to artist.
It looks like a 4-year-old's drawn on the wall.
Really, I think it's a great masterpiece.
It's carbon.
And you've got some new partners too.
It's carbon with a few stickers.
We are really pleased to welcome
that is
Alpine
bad.
family.
Look at the difference between the hypercar and the Formula One, and you tell me which series is in dire.
And will we see pink livery this year?
Yeah, for sure. We are going to see BWT mainly pink livery in a couple of opportunities, a bit more than a couple, in some opportunities during the year. And I would like also to thank all our loyal partners, BWT, we just mentioned it.
Formula One is dead.
Shamir on the
when it's carbon liveries, you know the regulations have screwed up.
I think we can get a sneaky peek because we've got a camera. Well,
right,
applause,
so we are having a pink livery.
Staff at Enstone all surrounding the car right now, but we need a bit of a countdown from all of you in order to see this pink
Please have more colour.
And get the colours taken off.
Have more colour.
Have a 3, 2, 1.
Please
They'll reveal
have
the pink livery
more
for us.
colour.
So 3.
I want this to be
2,
pink all over,
1,
not pink with just little pink stripes. I want this to be better and make this the permanent livery. If this has got more paint on it than that carbon thing, why isn't it like that? Oh, it's even worse! That's a black! Oh my god, it's not! It's not a livery! You've just put stickers on carbon! I can see the carbon! This is not good for Formula One. This is really not good. So far, out of all the launches, McLaren are the only one who've gone for a full livery. Williams have 2, but let's see how long that lasts.
Absolutely fantastic.
No, this is bad. Really bad for Formula One.
The A524 and delve a little bit deeper, shall we? Bruno, thank you very much for your time. For the time being,
There's no livery on it.
Welcome to the stage, the man who is behind it, the Alpine's technical director.
There is no livery on that car.
Matt Harmon.
There is no livery. This is really bad. Really bad.
It's great to see you, Matt. And as Bruno said,
look at the difference.
This has been a very bold approach. So can you talk us through the design
effectively
philosophy
naked.
on this car?
Thank you, and thanks everybody for being here. Before I start,
everyone's saying on social media. Oh, and I've lost the pictures. I hit the desk and I lost the pictures. Isn't that always the way? I do not believe that. Here we go.
To them all, so thank you. So, starting from the front, the A523 didn't quite deliver what we wanted. We need to look at ourselves, we need to look inwards and understand what we needed to do differently. And we started that process actually originally from concept work back in week 45 of 2022, but more so after the first few races of 2023. We decided to take a very bold approach. As Bruno said, it's a brand new car from front to back. I think only the steering wheel survived. So, we've really tried to look at every single area of the car to make sure that we leave no stone unturned. And we give ourselves a car that can have potential through the year.
I'm listening, but I've knocked my headphones off.
We plateaued a little bit in 523, and I think with this car, I think we have that potential. If we start with the front wing, you'll see a completely new philosophy there, structurally very challenging, as they always are. But it's a front wing that will give us a good load, a good aero balance, but also a good speed, aero balance with speed characteristic, which is very important to us. It's very tricky in here. It has a homologation requirement, as we know, with the nose, and it's important that we do a good job of that. But we also do it with a good structure, with a good mass. So that was a real good body of work done by the people at Enstone. Moving further back, with the braking system of the car. It's very complex. It's very important with the brakes, as I'm sure you're all aware with your cars that you drive every day. It's very important to be consistent and precise. And both Esteban and Pierre really do need to be consistent and precise on the braking system.
There you go.
That's the first order. But after that, it's also an aerodynamic device.
We
need to cool the brakes, we need to cool the calipers, we need to cool the brake disc, but we also need to manage the temperature going into the tyres. And that's done by a combination of not just the blankets that you can see on the television, but also the manner in which we let heat
Welcome to
pass
Formula
through
Nude.
into the carcass of the tyre. So we spend a lot of time on this, optimising that, making sure
I might make a
it's
joke of this and just
capable and it
commentate without a shirt on in the first race. Weight saving.
The front suspension is a similar concept to we had on the A523, but it is much more optimised. The kinematics are very different. The inboard suspension is slightly changed to give us more flexibility and understanding on how we can control that. If we move further back, one of the big areas that we focused on this year was the chassis. We made sure that we squeezed every single thing that we could. We need to make sure the driver is comfortable. Esteban, don't worry, you will be comfortable.
Tallest driver on the grid with one of the
really, really
smallest,
important for their ability to drive. But equally, we also need to push. We need to push the structures, and we also need to give the underbody of the car the ability to increase the flow rate through the car. And I'll talk about a little bit about that later.
It's carbon.
But fundamentally, the chassis has been designed to give us the maximum amount of volume for our aerodynamicists to express themselves freely in terms of concepts, not only for the launch car, but for the first, second, third, fourth race upgrades. As we move on further back through the car, we get to the power unit. We know the power unit is broadly homologated. That does not mean it is entirely fixed. There are a number of things that we can do to make sure that we install the power unit well into the car, making best use of all the hard work that is done.
They've still gone for the brick side pods.
It's really, really important that we do that. We make a lot of calculations
funnel
on
for
how
the
we
exhaust.
maintain
That's a bit
all the
big.
work done by the engine. So, for example, we've integrated the tailpipe that exits the engine into the suspension carrier around by the transmission, basically to straighten it, to reduce the pressure drop across there, making sure that every single bit of work done by the power unit is delivered at the crankshaft and therefore at the rear wheels. We've also moved the ERS unit forward.
Even the bloody driver overalls are
We've moved it
carbon colour.
So we've moved it
Oh
rearwards
my God.
towards the engine to help us with that weight distribution of the car. It's quite a reasonable weight in the car, and we've moved it. It's very optimal, but it really helps when we move it in that direction. Moving rearwards, again,
right, let's put it on Twitter.
we sort of move into the rear suspension, the transmission side
Carbon
of
fibre
the car.
everywhere. People don't like
Another
it.
challenge that we always have with the racing cars is we want optimal mass. We want to be under the weight limit, but we don't want to be too far to the point where we're not using the mass to spend back into performance.
You lying?
So it's really important for us to optimise that, and we've done just that. We've taken a considerable amount of mass out of the transmission, which has required a lot of validation. That has been validated in line with our full car dyno, where we also had the full powertrain system with the power unit, all of the heat rejection systems, and every part of the car.
Has the graphics designer been
that allowed
fired?
us to do well over 3,500 kilometres.
Has the graphic designer been shot?
Collaboration between
and a child's just come in and put their stickers on it.
My
nephew could do a better job designing a Formula One car livery than they can.
The outboard suspension is also the same. We've got a brand new kinematic on the rear suspension that allows us to make and take an advantage from the manner in which the car behaves under certain conditions around the track. We've also tried to make sure that we
optimise it. They teased us with a fully pink front wing last night.
We took a little bit of an aerodynamic hit for taking that kinematic.
And they've given us a carbon livery.
Through that. We're already back to where we started, and we believe we will get well and far beyond as we develop the rear of the car further.
Paint it!
As we move more to the rear wing is an area where I think we could have done better last year. There were certain tracks where we weren't as efficient as we wanted to be in terms of the downforce versus drag. Monza was one in particular.
Yeah, I was going to say Monza, you brought a different
wing. We learned
from
that. We designed some new things. We went to Las Vegas. We raced there. We understood some things. We included that in this car design. Next year.
No, I'm done. Even the TV pictures are giving me up. On a street track, you learned more about it.
We're closer to where we want to be from an optimum lap time. Coming back round towards the rear braking systems,
Alpine have just turned shambles.
Good concepts.
I guarantee the paddock are laughing right now at this.
Precision of the brakes, exactly the same as the front. Now we get onto the floor and bodywork. We all know that predominantly the floor creates an awful lot of the downforce.
I'm doing Toto. These headphones are going to be smashed in a minute, and they're Bose.
And an awful lot of the work that we've done in the centre of the car is to free up volume and space to express ourselves properly with that floor. You'll see on the edge of the floor, there's some fantastic design work gone in here. We've got some very interesting elements on the floor that allow us to make the most of the air passing over that area. And that actually is in combination with the bodywork.
Paint it.
Now, one of the things that you can't see as I stand here right now is underneath the bodywork. And under there is what we call the internal bodywork. So there is another set of bodywork which you cannot see. And this allows us to control all of the mass flow through the car from the beginning as it enters into the sidebody all the way through to the rear. That allows us, to make sure that we optimise the cooling behaviour of the car. We were a little bit more open than we would like to have been last year. This year, we were in a much better position. That reduces the drag of the car and allows us to have an optimum lap time.
Paint it.
We've also controlled a lot of the thermal behaviour under there. So, for example, we try not to cool the exhaust.
All this.
That sounds very counterintuitive, but cooling the exhaust takes away the energy of the exhaust. Taking away the energy of the exhaust means we don't have as much power at the crank. So we try to make sure we use our air where we need it and not where we don't, like we do everywhere else on the top of the car.
Sounds like you've taken quite an aggressive approach to this.
We've taken a very aggressive approach. I think we'll see where we are when we go to the Bahrain test.
Paint it.
We're relentlessly upgrading this car, and we have an awful lot of potential.
Yeah, upgrade it with paint.
anywhere near achieved all of it just yet.
Paint
So I
the
look forward to
bugger.
it.
Great, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much, Matt.
Oh, it's just bloody carbon. Rachel can't like it. Come on, Rach.
Right, shall we meet the trio of drivers who will be in the cockpit for this 24-race record-breaking season?
Even the overalls are carbon. I can't deal with this. It's this year's car, great, but the liveries are atrocious. Alpine have gone having one of the best liveries on the grid to
Studying
that.
the car closely. Please welcome to the stage Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly and reserve driver Jack Doohan.
Jack Doohan deserves a seat in Formula One over any of these.
Did you get your photo?
Hi, Kenny.
You're going to do a selfie after, aren't you? I know you are. Esteban, great
Colour
to see
it
you.
in.
What do you think?
Hello, Rachel. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I mean, we saw it for the first time today. Obviously, it's been built completely. We saw it in drawings. We drove it a lot in the simulator, but to see time, yeah, it looks very aggressive. And yeah, this car, there's been an enormous amount of work, going on through months.
Every single one of these people know right now that car looks ridiculous without any paint on it.
A long winter, a long preparation, but we are about to get going with that launch. Everything is starting to kick off now, so yeah, I can't wait to get started.
Joyeux anniversaire, Pierre. 28, 28 today. I mean, we could sing. Do you want us to sing for you?
No, don't do that, please.
It's a good idea, to be fair.
That.
How's this as a birthday gift?
That's probably the best birthday gift I could have hoped for. So no, it's amazing. I know a lot of work I've been done over the past few months. Obviously, we've been involved with Jack and Esteban in the simulator, talking with the guys. But just to see it live, I think a big round of applause for all the guys to get it here, because it's a 2024 car. I think it's the first time we get it all together, and in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to be in Bahrain testing for the first time. And yeah, I'm just super excited to get going.
How was your winter, Esteban? I know you went go-karting.
Oh, was Jack doing invisible?
Is his go-karting better than your football, or?
No, he's actually really good. I mean, that shows, how much when you are top athlete, you are good at every sport. But no, since then, a lot have happened. We've been training, preparing as much as we can. And yeah, it's going to be a super long season, 24 races, record-breaking season in that term.
It's lights out in Bahrain, and God knows which car is down to turn one.
A good physical level.
Is that a Haas? Is it a Williams?
Long season.
Is it an Alpine? Is it a Mercedes? We can't tell.
Yeah, from now on, it's all about eyeing, that car and looking forward to be in it.
And Pierre, how was your winter?
They are laughing! Their car has colour, their car hasn't. It's like it ran out of colour printing.
Yeah, I'm a big football fan. It's no surprise to anyone. But no, I mean, it was a great winter. It feels like we were in Abu Dhabi not long time ago, so we haven't had much of a break. But as Esteban said, we're coming into a record-breaking season, 24 races. It's going to be intense. We prepared for it physically, mentally. I'm feeling in a much better place than I was 12 months ago when I came.
I was feeling in a much better place about half an hour ago.
The guys, mechanics, engineer. So no, I'm really feeling amazing, and yeah, I just want to get behind the wheel, behind that car, and
yeah,
really
you won't be able to see it when you're inside, will you?
Jack, we've seen you enjoying your winter as well, taking on a triathlon.
Please, just let the visa.
Luckily, my winter was a summer, so I've been a little bit warm. It's been a bit of a shock coming back the last few days. Hence why I have
two cars got more paint on it.
Hair. Usually it's shaved, so now I brought some warmth with me. But yeah, I'm not racing this year, so I wanted to still put myself into that sort of environment and
Jack
throw myself in the deep end. But
son
I'm still
of Mick Doohan,
heavily involved at the team. Another year as reserve driver, spending a lot of time in the simulator, which will be extremely beneficial for me. Also, then joining the guys on track, knowing exactly how they're feeling and really where we're heading into the weekend. So that will be good, as well with an extensive testing program in the 2022 and 23 car. So 21 and 22 car. Sorry. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the year ahead.
And Esteban, it's your 5th year with the team. Can you set yourself some ambitions and targets for this year, this early on?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome, to be continuing the work with the team, with the brand. I've been part of this team for a very long time now. As someone was saying, when I arrived, I was a lot smaller.
Were you ever that high? I can't imagine you ever being that high.
It sounds like a long time ago, and it was. I joined this team when I was 12 or 13 years old, so yeah, it's more than 10 years, and it's incredible to be continuing and racing in Formula One in the best cars in the world. So yeah, I can't wait to get going. The aim for me is obviously to extract the maximum out of the car every single time. we have a big task, to improve and progress, throughout the year. But yeah, the important is for me that task, to end the season, have no regrets, and be happy with what we've done.
I can't deal with the fact that we've got a hypercar fully painted and the F1 car's
not. What are our targets for this year?
Well, hopefully, definitely more trophies coming this year. But no, I think as we said, we came with a bold car, aggressive strategy. We know there's a lot of work ahead of us, but no, definitely ready for it. Second year with the team, so definitely feel like there's even more potential to unlock. And yeah, excited to get going. Teamwork, we know where we want to be. We want to see the team at the top, and that's where I want to be as well. And yeah, we'll work for that.
And Jack, I know you're not racing this, you don't have a racing program of your own this year. How will you stay sharp? And is this a new aero version? Because you had a shaved head last time we saw you.
Yeah, this is the new.
This is aero
the
development.
The pink livery's been used at 8 races.
We redesigned the car, redesigned my hair, so no, going all in for 2024. Like I said, I think I have 10 days in the car this year and previous generations, which will be
pink
amazing.
Does look a bit better.
Just super grateful, obviously, to Alpine and everyone here at the factory, both here in Viri, and for the trust they had behind me to put this testing program towards. And also doing race support, like I said, in the simulator on all the Fridays, which will be extremely valuable for me myself, but also to have another race driver in the simulator as well.
Oh no, to simulate.
So I look forward to staying sharp even though I'm not racing.
Well, I've mentioned 24 race season, as you reminded me earlier, though, Esteban. It's 30, really, because you've got 6 sprint weekends. Any of them stand out for you as you look ahead to that calendar?
I mean, for sure. I mean, every year, I got a couple of favorite circuits. Suzuka, Budapest are definitely the ones that stands out for me. Really, cool flow, and the Formula 1 car really comes alive. In those times when you go through those circuits. Really high grip, cool places, and yeah, I can't wait to be sitting in that and experience that in those places.
And which race are you looking forward to taking this one around?
To start the first one, and then the second, and the third. I mean, every race is going to be, we're going to come with the same mentality and try to deliver the best job we can. Yeah, as you said, 30 races, there are going to be a lot of opportunities. We know we'll have to work hard at the start and see where we stand in Bahrain at the first test of the season. But it's going to be a long season. They're going to be great chances, and yeah, we'll make sure we're there to get them.
Not long to go, just a couple of weeks until the car's on track. Thank you very much to Esteban, to Pierre,
at the difference.
and to Jack. And that concludes this, I think so. I think a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes the Alpine 2024 Motorsports launch. We've heard from drivers across World Endurance, Formula 1, and we've seen the real machines today. They're ready to take on a very busy global campaign. 2024 has definitely started, and we're very excited to see what Alpine Motorsports can achieve. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Thank you to you wherever you are watching this from. It's been a pleasure to have you along, and we will see you on track very soon. Bye-bye.
Technically, car's interesting. A lot of new parts, a lot of exciting new parts, but there's no paint. Whoever came up with that livery, right, the painters, the graphic designers, they are the most conning people on the planet. Create a new livery. Okay. Stickers. Yeah. Done. There is more paint in this commentary box than there is on that. I can't. I physically can't. I can't. Look at what they did to my baby. That was last year's car. That was last year's car. And... I can't. Really hope one of my friends doesn't just put a message on here. Oh, hello, that's Christian, Lucy. Who is it? Amelia. Look at those liveries. Take me back. Ross Brawn, I hope wherever you are right now, fishing, sitting down, hanging out with Keanu Reeves, whatever, I hope you are miserable for what you have done to Formula One. We'll change the regulations. The field will be closer than ever. They'll look better than ever, the cars. And this is what we've got. A field that has been obliterated by Red Bull. A field that is the most spread out it has been in decades. We've gone from having the closest season in Formula One history to two back-to-back dominated seasons by Red Bull. The most in F1 history. A 95% win rate, for God's sake. And now, we don't have a livery. I mean, roll on 26. Just roll on 26, because this cannot continue at all. This can't. It physically can't continue. That's what 3 teams now we've seen. Here's the and Tom Bellingham wins the tweet of the day. What's Matt Gallagher done? I think, yeah. Matt's got a good one too. You forgot the paint. You've got that in hypercar and that in Formula One. Oh, I'm embarrassed. I am embarrassed. Okay, that's a bit unfair. The field is spread outside. Max is tight. Really? You've got Mercedes, which is going backwards in its development stage and can't figure out how to make the car reliable, so never won a race last year. You then have Ferrari, whose strategy department can't get a handle on the new car because the tyres keep crunching itself at different variations because of the regulation changes. You have Alpine, who were in a great position in 2021 and in 2020, have now been fighting with backmarkers. You had AlphaTauri, Toro Rosso, Minardi, whatever you want to call it, in race-winning machinery now sent to the back. Haas, well, they were pretty much rubbish anyway. Williams were good with their 20 and 21 car, regularly in the points with Russell. Even Latifi scored a point. Last year, Albon was the star. Sargent had to really fight for it. Only came good in the second half. McLaren start the year rubbish, end the year well. But they, too, had a good car in 2021. In 2021, the entire field, any one of them could have won a race. And don't say I'm lying, because what do we see in 2020 and 2021? Different winners. A lot of different winners. Different people on the podium. The field was closer than ever, especially in 21. And we went from that to 22 and 23. That's my point. And that's what we've got. These regulations really, really don't work. Right, I need to lie down. I've been up for ages. And that is... I feel like I've just been offered a 5-star Michelin meal and I've ended up with a Burger King. That's it. We'll be back for the next launch. Tomorrow morning, we're live as well. MotoGP, final day of testing. At least they know how to do liveries. Take care. Goodbye.